Electrical signals that form in neurons, that is, action potentials, spread along the axon towards the terminal button, where they are spread onto the neighboring neurons via the synaptic clefts. Excitatory neurons increase the electrical activity of the neighboring neurons and can generate an action potential in them. Inhibitory neurons, however, reduce the electrical activity of the neighboring neurons and thereby prevent the formation of action potential in them. In most synapses, chemical substances known as neurotransmitters transmit signals between neurons. Therefore, these are called chemical synapses. In chemical synapses, when an action potential reaches the terminal button, synaptic vesicles release neurotransmitters into the synaptic cleft. The neurotransmitters diffuse through the synaptic cleft to the membrane of the receiving neuron, that is, to the postsynaptic membrane. Neurotransmitters attach to the ion channel receptors in the postsynaptic membrane. Their attachment opens up the ion channels in the membrane, allowing ions to flow through. The more neurotransmitters are released, the more ions flow through the ion channels. In excitatory chemical synapses, sodium ions flow through the postsynaptic membrane into the cell, while potassium ions flow out of the cell. The influx and efflux of ions increase the membrane potential compared to the resting potential. That is, they depolarize the membrane. If enough excitatory neurotransmitters are released to increase the membrane potential such that it reaches the threshold, an action potential is triggered. Inhibitory neurotransmitters cause an influx of chloride ions and an efflux of potassium ions in the postsynaptic membrane. The influx and efflux of ions cause the decrease of the membrane potential. That is, they prevent the membrane potential from reaching the threshold and thereby inhibit the formation of an action potential. This is called hyperpolarization. In some cases, electrical synapses are found between neurons. In this case, the synaptic cleft is only 2 to 3 nanometers wide. In electrical synapses, the membranes of the neighboring neurons are connected by connexons. These are composed of connexin proteins and act as ion channels. Action potential can spread without any synaptic delay via electrical synapses.